said your T was for your sacral chakra. Can you share with us a little bit of your wellness practices?
I was actually introduced into chakra balancing like around 2018. And when I learned about the different 7 main chakras, it really just changed my life. And when I say changed my life, I mean in the way that I see that I can actually control my life. And with Christianity and a lot of other religions, we can actually learn about things such as chakra balancing. However, when it's taught to us, oftentimes the teacher or the messenger doesn't really focus on what you can do yourself. It's kind of like you are taught to give your power away or pray to a higher being and wait on them to bless you or give you something, versus finding out that there is a God inside of you and what can you do to take control of your time being an earthly being. All of these religions, when you really look at them, they're basically the same. And they're saying that we came to earth to learn some type of lesson, and someone is going to come out of the sky, and then we're going to go to the great beyond. Even when you break it down with science, like according to Christianity, the first man was an Adam. According to the Egyptian religion, the first man was Atum, just spelled a little differently. And according to science, the first thing ever here on earth was an atom, atom. So it's really the same story, just taught a little differently. When you really break them down to their core, what it's really teaching you is you are really the divine. And while you're here, you really got to get the control of yourself so that you can learn your lesson and be able to complete your earthly experience. So that's what I kind of got into, and I learned about the different chakras. And once I learned about the different 7 chakras, I realized that we had learned that this entire time. And we learned about color theory and how it relates to that and how it relates to architecture and interior design. So I'll kind of walk us through it a little bit. So I meditate. I try to meditate 2 times a day at the same time, because apparently when you're meditating, you're connecting to the other living things on this planet that's doing the same thing as you. And I said other living things because I'm not just speaking of humans. I'm speaking of animals, plants. I try to get it in early, like between 4 and 6 a.m., then around 7 p.m. before going to bed. With the root chakra, that's basically how we got here on earth, and how the first color that you came to contact with when you got to earth was the color red. And you saw that coming out of your mother with the red blood. And red is the color to alert you. That's why we have red stop signs or things like that, or red blood. That's when it's like, you see the color red, you need to be alert. And it's no coincidence that McDonald's has the color red, or Wendy's has the color red, and most fast food restaurants has the color red. It's because they want to get your attention. And they really want to get the attention of children, because children are going to say, stop, mom, stop, dad. The root chakra is what anchors you to the earth. And people who have a torn relationship with their mother or a care provider, oftentimes they have a really weak root chakra. So they typically bounce around and don't have a stable place to live, or they constantly have financial issues. And it's because they never really anchored themselves when they got here on earth, because some type of way their care provider failed them, if you get what I'm saying. And the sacral is the color orange, and we're moving on that color spectrum. So the next color up is from red is orange, and that's your sexuality and creativity. And since we're talking about interiors, I decided to go with the color orange. And sadly, this is one of the weakest chakras that a lot of people have, because growing up as a kid, their parents never really wanted them to explore sexuality or ask questions. And they had to kind of find out on their own. And when they tried to find out on their own, they were punished, even though it was a learning opportunity. But some parents felt uncomfortable. Also, coloring and drawing, a lot of parents just don't sit down and color with their kids or put them in art programs. And so if a boy wants to color or draw, people confuse that and may say that he has issues with his sexuality. And that's because it's all the same chakra. And if it's not explored, it can get blocked. And I meet women and men 50 and 60 years old trying to unblock their sacral chakra and say, why don't I dance in public? Why am I so shy? Why don't I sing? Why don't I do these things? And it's because in their childhood, someone probably said, sit down somewhere. Oh, you're doing too much. That's for boys. That's for girls. And that chakra got blocked. So when I'm designing, I try my best to really put in a lot of the crystals for that chakra. I put in those orange colors so that people can say, this is your time here on earth. Express yourself so that you can be the fullest version of Alicia or Dee that you can be. Don't let anyone shut you down. Just express yourself and live out loud. So that's kind of what I do. I try to live out each chakra every day, and I try to put that into my design so that people can visit spaces where they can knowingly or unknowingly unblock those chakras.
I love it. That's exciting. I'm all into it. Now I'm going to go do some studying.